Marvin, do you have any suggestions or templates? Like where would you send an entrepreneur to if he doesn't have a business plan? Where can he start out without having to like start from scratch on a blank piece of paper?
I've got a couple of templates. I mean, there's a core one. You can go to SBA.gov and they've got a business plan template you can pull down from there. There's a lot of those out there. The only thing that I say about them is that I think a good plan has worked through a number of different scenarios, so that you said, okay, and I like the idea of saying, absolute, as much certainty. I know for sure I'm going to have these expenses, and minimally I know for sure I'm going to have this level of revenue and what my expectation is there. So I like to build it first from sort of a financial, point of view, and then look at what the elements to support that financial plan look like. So what's the labor look like? What's the advertising look like? All of those components that really support it, and do they tie in? Does it make sense? For example, if you're coming and buying a business and it's growing, we do what we call a trend indicated growth plan. And we take the trends and say, okay, here's the trend. You're growing at 10%, your expenses are going up at 5%, whatever they are, that's what our trends are telling us. And then we come sometime and we go to a banker and say, but we're going to grow this thing at 20%. But we have no real justification for why it's going to change away from the trends, right? And so, but if we've shown history of where we spend X amount of dollars in advertising, we're going to grow at some multiple of that, and we're going to increase our ad spend, we have a reasonable expectation of increasing our revenue. That's the tie-in. The assumption is we're going to increase ad spend to X. As a result, our expectation is revenues to grow at Y. So again, it's important to stay focused on the plans, financial plans, because all the activities feed them. And that keeps you on track from my point of view.
I have found the most entrepreneurs that I've bumped into. I've been a member of Entrepreneurs Organization, who uses Scaling Up, Vern Harnish's book. A lot of really good templates in here. There's strategies and stuff for your vision and that sort of stuff in here. But by far, the number one recommendation I get from folks that have built multi-million-dollar businesses is Traction by Gino Wickman. This is the number one book with lots of very easily digestible material for people to be able to kind of implement some of this stuff, which honestly, all the businesses I've sold this year, none of them have done any of this. If they had, it would have been that much more, that much easier for them to get probably the value they're looking for. Because even the lower middle market range that I play in, a lot of my listings are in the $1 million to $10 million EBITDA range, and they're being listed for, $5 million to, I've got a listing $105 million, and even those don't have business plans, don't have vision and strategies documented. A couple of them did, and have gotten some phenomenal results from it. But those of you watching, if you haven't gone through Traction, this is the Gino Wickman. This is the number one. I've seen people come to my events and literally after 3 months tell me that their revenue's up 30%, their profits up 50%, just by implementing some strategies from those books.
Yeah, I think that's good advice all the way around from that standpoint. Moving down that pathway a little bit and tying over to that.
Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications about new videos and interviews. And introduce yourself in the comments. Are you a buyer or a seller?